Well, Eleider Alvarez looks like he's finally getting his world title shot, but it's not against Adonis Stevenson. He's actually going to be facing off against Sergey Kovalev on Saturday in the main event. Now, I really know at this point Alvarez he really don't care who he fights at this point. He just wants a shot at one of the belt holders. So like I was saying, he was originally the mandatory for Adonis Stevenson, and he was that mandatory for almost 2 years, but he was never able to get that shot. So now he's getting in there with Sergey Kovalev. Either way, I really think this is a good fight. Against a guy like Kovalev, this will tell if he really is ready for that long overdue championship fight. And this will tell us if Kovalev can still perform against better competition, better than his last two opponents. And what's crazy is that both of these guys have been tied to Adonis Stevenson, but it seems like same things always happen with that fight not happening. It's either been money or politics. But I think this is just going to be a good fight. Like I said, I think this is a good step up from Kovalev's last opponents. And, Alvarez, him being 34, I know he's ready for this title shot. And, I know he's just ready to go. So looking at this one, Kovalev, he was able to regain one of his belts against Shabransky last year, who wasn't much of a threat. And then after that, he was able to score a win over, I think, one of his sparring partners or one of his friends named Igor McCollin. And that was about 5 months back. So now he gets to defend his title against Alvarez. I feel Alvarez I think he's really much different competition. And like I said, Alvarez, he's been waiting in line for that shot at the other title. But, after taking step aside money a few times, he wasn't able to get that fight. But, Alvarez, he's been there with a few names that definitely shows that he has the skill to, maybe hang with the best of them. He's been in there with Isaac Chilemba. He's beat him. He's beat Jean Pascal. He's knocked out Lucien Boutte. So I really feel like he does have that experience to lead up to, this championship fight. He's a very steady, patient boxer. He doesn't really go too wild in there. I feel like he has underrated pop. Got the solid jab and good defense. I think his chin is pretty durable, but facing somebody like Kovalev, this is going to really give us that. This is really going to give him that test to see if his chin is that durable. But for Alvarez in this fight, if he wants to find victory, I feel like he has to start rounds early with his jab, make Kovalev wait and fight at his pace. Definitely have to make Kovalev overthink. Every time he's getting his shots off, make Kovalev wait. Whether they're knockout blows or pot shots, he has to kind of build up that early lead and make sure he doesn't back straight up also. He has to kind of build up that early lead. Make sure he doesn't back up. Make sure he doesn't back straight up. He has to step out at angles away from the straight punches of Kovalev, because a fighter like Kovalev, he really isn't big on the left hook or hooks at all. So I think if he just kind of sidesteps at angles to try to avoid the straight shots, make sure he dips the head a little bit, and make sure you don't ignore the uppercut if you get in the clinches, because a guy like Kovalev, I really feel like he's not that big of a fighter on the inside, so he can use the uppercut to his advantage. So looking at Sergey Kovalev, I feel like he has to, just stick to the game plan that made him that nickname Crusher. Hit early, hit hard with the jab and the right. Keep the range, which he's pretty good at, and make Alvarez reach. Every time Alvarez tries to reach, you have to hit him with the counters, those hard punches, and try to get him out of there in the first few rounds. Somebody like Alvarez, you don't want to keep in there. You don't want to make 12 rounds of trouble. So I really feel like if he just starts landing the jab early, hit him with those thudding jabs. If he hits Eleider Alvarez early with those hard jabs, it's going to see whether or not he can take the power or if he's intimidated by it. Sergey being the veteran, Sergey's been in over 10 championship fights. He has to act like that. Control the pace, take advantage of any tentative body language from Alvarez and capitalize on it. Any moment that he's acting like, he might be intimidated by something, or if he starts to fold up, you got to capitalize on those movements. Playing out, I think that Alvarez might start controlling the early rounds, while Kovalev tries to figure him out. I think he might even land some good counters on Kovalev early, but I think Kovalev might be able to withstand the power. And I think that he might start to land the hard jabs somewhere around 4 and 5, at a steady pace. And I think they might start to take a lot out of Alvarez. Alvarez might start backing up more, and Kovalev can get a late round stoppage, or maybe even a decision. But he might get a decision if Alvarez goes more into a survival mode to avoid the fire zone. But I see Kovalev probably pulling out a late round stoppage or decision in this fight. But overall, I think this is going to be a good fight. It's definitely going to lead up to the Dimitri Bivol fight from here, because from here, that's the fight that people want to see. They want to see that unification matchup, between two tough champions. But let me know what you guys think about this fight. This is a good fight on HBO. Make sure you guys subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.